The space was quiet, too quiet. An astronaut was floating above the Earth. He was alone, no sound, no wind, no help, only darkness and stars around him. The blue planet was far below, looking calm and beautiful, but for him this was the most dangerous moment of his life. Just a few minutes ago, everything was normal. He was part of a routine space mission, a simple spacewalk, nothing new. He had trained for this many times on Earth. He had practiced every move again and again. The mission was clear. Fix a small problem outside the space station and return safely, but space does not forgive mistakes. One small push, one wrong angle, and everything changed. The astronaut slowly started moving away from the space station. At first, he did not panic. He believed he could stop himself. He moved his arms, his legs, trying to control his motion, but in space there is no ground, no friction. No second chance, he was drifting. The space station was getting smaller. Bit by bit, it was moving away from him. His heart started beating faster. His breathing became heavy inside the helmet. He looked at his oxygen gauge. Green, still safe, but time was running. He reached for his radio. His hand was shaking. "Mission Control, this is EVA 1, he said. His voice sounded calm, but inside, fear was growing. "I have a movement issue." There was a short silence. Then a voice came back. "Copy that, EVA 1, explain your situation." The astronaut looked around. The stars were endless. The station was now just a bright shape in the distance. "I am drifting away from the station," he said. "I am unable to stop." Another silence. Mission Control on Earth heard his words clearly. The room was full of screens, numbers, and quiet tension. Engineers looked at each other. This was not part of the plan. "EVA 1, stay calm." Mission Control replied, "Do not waste oxygen. Try to orient yourself." The astronaut tried. He moved slowly. Every small movement pushed him further. Space followed no rules he could fight. His breathing grew louder in his helmet. He tried to stay calm. Panic would only make things worse. He remembered his training. Panic burns oxygen. Panic kills time. He looked again at Earth. It looked peaceful. No sign of danger. No sign of fear. But he knew the truth. In space, silence is deadly. "Mission Control," he said again. "I am increasing distance." The numbers confirmed it. He was moving farther away every second. The station could not reach him easily. He was outside its safety zone. Mission Control started calculating speed, direction, distance, time. Time was the enemy. "EVA 1, the voice said carefully, "we are analyzing options." Options, that word felt heavy. The astronaut understood what it meant. Options were limited, very limited. He checked his oxygen again, still green, but not forever. Sweat formed on his face, but it did not fall. It floated inside the helmet. His hands felt cold, then warm. Space was cruel like that. He tried one more push, using a small movement technique. It barely helped. The distance still grew. The station was now a bright dot. "Mission Control," he said quietly, "I cannot see the station clearly." The room on Earth went silent. This was no longer a simple problem. This was a survival situation. "EVA 1, Mission Control said, listen carefully, conserve oxygen, slow your breathing." The astronaut tried in, out, slow, but fear is hard to control when death is close. He thought about Earth, about gravity, about walking without thinking, about air that never runs out. Out here, every breath mattered. His radio crackled. "EVA 1, we are still with you." Those words were small but important. He was not fully alone, not yet, but space did not care. The stars stayed silent, Earth stayed far, and the astronaut kept drifting slowly, endlessly away. The desperate call had been made. Now only time would decide what happens next. The astronaut was still moving, not fast, not slow, just enough to be dangerous. The space station was now a small light behind him. He tried not to look at it too much. Every time he did, fear grew stronger. Distance was no longer a feeling, it was a fact. He was alone in open space. Inside his helmet, his breathing echoed. Every breath sounded louder than before. He focused on slowing it down. In space, calm was survival. Mission Control stayed quiet for a moment, not because they had no answers, but because they were calculating. On Earth, screens showed his position. Numbers changed every second. Lines moved away from each other. The math was not kind. "EVA 1, Mission Control said finally, your velocity is increasing slightly." The astronaut swallowed. In simple words, he asked. Another pause. "You are drifting farther," the voice replied. He already knew that, but hearing it made the situation real. There was no denial left. He checked his oxygen timer again. 90 minutes. That number looked big, but in space it was very small. He tried to move his arms again, slowly, carefully. Every motion pushed him in a direction he did not want. Space did not forgive effort. It only followed physics. He stopped moving. Still he drifted. "Mission Control," he said, "I am not touching anything, but I am still moving." "Yes," they replied, "that is normal." Normal, nothing about this felt normal, they explained calmly. In space, once motion starts, it does not stop. There is no air to slow you down, no surface to push against. One mistake can last forever. The astronaut closed his eyes. Forever was a long word. He opened them again and looked at Earth. The planet was bright and full of color. Clouds moved slowly. Oceans shined under the sun. Life was everywhere down there. Up here there was nothing, no sound, no air, no mercy. His suit started to feel heavy, not because of weight, but because of pressure. His chest felt tight, his fingers felt stiff. "EVA 1, Mission Control said, we need you to stay focused." I am focused. He replied, I just need a plan. The truth was hard, there was no easy plan. The station was too far to reach him by hand, a rescue move would take time, and time was oxygen. Engineers spoke quietly in the background. Words like trajectory and fuel limits filled the room. The astronaut heard only pieces: fuel, time, risk. He understood enough. A rescue was not guaranteed. He adjusted his body position to reduce spinning. Training helped a little. The stars stopped moving so fast around him. That small wind gave him hope, but hope was fragile. His oxygen dropped to 85 minutes. He had not even noticed the time passing. Mission control, he said softly. How bad is it? Silence, then honesty. Eva 1, the voice said, this is a critical situation. Critical, that word meant everything. He nodded even though no one could see him. He felt sweat floating near his eyes. He blinked hard, trying to clear his vision. His mind started playing tricks. For a moment he felt like he was falling. His stomach tightened, but there was no up or down, only motion without direction. He forced himself to focus. He listed facts in his head. He was alive, he had oxygen, he had communication, not yet lost, but danger was growing. Mission control spoke again. We are preparing a possible maneuver. Possible? He asked. Yes. They replied, but it will take time. Time, always time. He looked at the station again. It was barely visible now, just another star among thousands. That scared him the most, because once it disappeared completely, he would truly be alone. His oxygen reached 75 minutes. He took a slow breath. Out here, space was not dramatic. It did not scream or explode. It simply waited, and it always won. The astronaut held on to the sound of mission control's voice. It was the only human thing left in his world, but even that voice felt far away. He continued drifting into the endless dark. The astronaut felt something was wrong, not outside, inside. His body was still alive, but it was no longer comfortable. The space suit protected him, but it could not protect his mind from fear. His hands felt stiff. His fingers moved slower than before. He tried to open and close them. The motion felt delayed, like his body was not listening properly. He checked his heart rate on the suit display. It was high, too high. Mission control, he said, trying to keep his voice steady. My heart rate is rising. We see it, the voice replied. Try to relax, relax. That word sounded impossible. The astronaut focused on his breathing. Slow in, slow out. The air inside the suit felt dry. Every breath sounded loud, like a reminder that oxygen was limited. He looked at the oxygen timer again. 70 minutes. It was still a big number, but it was falling fast. His body started to feel strange, not cold, not hot, both at the same time. Space temperature outside was extreme, but inside the suit his body struggled to balance itself. Sweat formed again. Tiny drops floated in front of his eyes. They stuck to the inside of the helmet, blurring his vision. He blinked. The stars looked closer now, too close. He shook his head gently. He knew this was dangerous. Confusion was a warning sign. On Earth, doctors watched his body data carefully. Oxygen use, heart rate, brain activity. The numbers told a worrying story. Stress was winning. Eva 1, mission control said, your oxygen use is increasing. I know, he replied quietly. I can feel it. His chest felt tight, not painful but heavy. Each breath required effort. Fear was stealing oxygen without permission. He remembered his training again. Fear is natural, panic is deadly. He tried to think of simple things, numbers, colors, his name, his home, but space does something strange to the mind. Time felt broken. Seconds felt long, minutes felt endless. He felt like he had been drifting for hours, but the clock said otherwise. His body suddenly felt light, too light. For a moment, he felt like he was not inside his body anymore, like he was watching himself from far away. That scared him. Mission control, he said quickly, I feel strange. Explain, they replied. It feels like I am not fully here, he said, like a dream. The room on Earth grew quiet. They knew this feeling: mental stress, early disorientation, space sickness of the mind. Eva 1, the voice said calmly, listen to us, focus on our voice. He did. The voice became his anchor. Without it, he felt he would drift not just in space, but in his thoughts. His oxygen dropped to 60 minutes, 1 hour. He thought about what 1 hour meant on Earth: coffee breaks, short naps, small talks. Out here, 1 hour was life. His vision darkened at the edges for a moment. He blinked hard. The darkness pulled back, but not fully. He realized something scary. His body was slowly giving up, not suddenly, not loudly, quietly. Space did not attack, it waited. His fingers felt numb now. His movements were slower. Even thinking felt heavy. Mission control spoke again. We are preparing a maneuver. It is risky. Risky how? He asked. Another pause. There is a chance it may not reach you in time. He understood this was no longer about saving the mission. This was about saving a life. His oxygen reached 55 minutes. The station was no longer visible. That hurt more than he expected. Without the station, there was no direction, no goal, just endless stars that all looked the same. He felt small, very small. For the first time, a dark thought entered his mind. What if this is how it ends? He pushed the thought away. He could not afford it. He took another slow breath. In, out. The suit kept him alive. The voice kept him sane, but time kept moving. And space kept waiting. The astronaut was running out of time, not suddenly, not loudly, but clearly. Oxygen timer showed 50 minutes. That number stared back at him like a warning. He knew what it meant. No mistakes left, no wasted movement. Every second now had value. Mission control was no longer silent. Voices filled the room on Earth. Engineers spoke faster. Screens showed simulations again and again. Lines crossed, some turned red. There was only one possible option left, and it was dangerous. EVA 1, Mission Control said slowly, "We have a plan." The astronaut held his breath. "A plan that can save me?" he asked. Another pause. "It is a high-risk maneuver," the voice replied. "It may work or it may make things worse." The astronaut closed his eyes for a moment. "Worse than drifting forever." "I'm listening," he said. Mission Control explained in simple words. The astronaut had a small emergency air unit on his suit. It was not designed for long movement, only small corrections. One wrong use could send him spinning in the wrong direction. But if used perfectly, it could push him closer to the station's path. Perfect timing, perfect angle, one chance. "You will only get one try," Mission Control said. "After that, you may not have enough oxygen to recover." One try. The astronaut looked at the stars again. They did not change. They never did. "How do I know which way?" he asked. "You don't," the voice answered honestly. "We will guide you." The truth hit hard. He would trust voices from Earth more than his own senses. He adjusted his body slowly. His arms felt weak now. His hands moved like they were underwater. Even thinking required effort. His oxygen dropped to 45 minutes. EVA 1, Mission Control said, "Rotate your body 3 degrees to the left." He moved carefully, slowly. Too fast would be deadly. "Stop," they said. "Hold position." He stopped. "Now rotate 1 degree back." He obeyed. Sweat floated inside the helmet again. His vision blurred. He forced himself to blink and focus. This was not fear anymore. This was survival. Mission Control checked the numbers again. Trajectory, distance, timing. EVA 1, the voice said, "When we say now, you will activate the air unit for exactly 2 seconds. 2 seconds, he repeated. Yes, not more. 2 seconds decided life or death. He placed his hand near the control. His fingers trembled. He waited. Seconds passed, then more seconds. His heart beat louder than the radio. EVA 1, Mission Control said, "Stand by." The astronaut stared at the control switch. His oxygen reached 40 minutes. "Now," the voice said. He pressed the control. A sudden force pushed his body. Stars moved fast, too fast. "Stop, stop now," Mission Control shouted. He released the control. Silence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the spinning began, slow at first, then faster. His stomach turned. His head felt light. The stars became lines. His vision struggled to stay clear. "I'm spinning," he said. "I can't stop it." "Copy," Mission Control replied quickly. "Try to stabilize." He spread his arms slightly. It helped a little, not enough. His breathing became rough again. Panic knocked on the door. He fought it. Panic burns oxygen. He forced himself to breathe slowly. In, out. Being slowed, not stopped, but slowed. Mission Control checked the new data. The room fell silent again. The astronaut waited. "Did it work?" he asked quietly. Seconds felt like minutes. Then the voice came back. EVA 1, you are closer to the station's projected path. Closer, not safe, but closer. Hope returned, small but real. But the danger was not over. The spin had cost him oxygen. His timer showed 35 minutes. "Mission Control," he said. "What's next?" Another pause. "There is no next move," the voice replied. "Now we wait, the most dangerous thing in space." He floated again, slower this time. The direction felt different. The stars moved in a new pattern. He searched for the station. Nothing, then a small light, very small. Was it real, or was his mind lying to him? "Mission Control," he whispered, "I see something." The room on Earth froze. "Describe it," they said. "A light," he replied. "Small but steady." The oxygen timer dropped to 30 minutes. The last risky plan had been used. Now only time would decide if it was enough. And space stayed silent. The light was still there, small, weak, unclear. The astronaut stared at it for a long time. He was not sure if it was real or just his mind trying to survive. In space, the brain does strange things when fear and low oxygen mix together. His oxygen timer showed 28 minutes. That number hurt. Mission Control spoke carefully. EVA 1, we do not fully confirm the light yet. Keep observing, keep observing. He felt tired, not just in his body but deep inside his thoughts. Thinking was slow now. Every idea felt heavy, like it had to travel through thick fog before reaching him. He blinked again. The light was still there. That gave him hope, or maybe false hope. His breathing was shallow. He tried to slow it, but his chest felt tight. His heartbeat was uneven now, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. "Mission Control," he said softly, "I feel very tired." They expected that. Fatigue was normal, confusion was not. "We need you to stay awake," the voice replied. "Talk to us." So he talked. He talked about small things, training, Earth, the sky, things that felt far away now. The sound of his own voice kept him connected to reality. But the silence between words was dangerous. During one quiet moment he heard something, a sound. It felt impossible. Space has no sound, yet he heard it. A soft voice calling his name. He froze. "Mission Control," he said slowly, "are you hearing anything unusual?" "No," they replied, "just you." His stomach tightened. That was bad. Hallucinations had started. His brain was running out of oxygen even if the suit still had air. Fear and stress were changing how his mind worked. The stars began to move again, not because he was spinning, but because his vision could not stay focused. Shapes stretched. Lights doubled. The small light in the distance blinked, then disappeared. "No," he whispered. His oxygen showed 23 minutes. He closed his eyes for a moment, just one moment. That was a mistake. When he opened them, the world felt wrong, too quiet, too empty. He felt like he was falling backward into nothing, even though he knew he was not. His body felt far away from his thoughts. "I don't feel real," he said. "It feels like I'm floating inside my head." Mission Control listened carefully. Doctors on Earth exchanged worried looks. This was the mind breaking under pressure. "Eva 1, the voice said firmly. "Look at your hands, move your fingers." He tried. They moved slowly, weakly, but they moved. "Good," they said. "You are still with us." Those words mattered. He focused on the suit display, numbers, colors. Simple things, he counted them, one by one, anything to stay present. His oxygen dropped to 20 minutes. The number felt unreal, so small, so final. The light appeared again, clearer this time. His heart jumped. "Mission Control," he said quickly. "The light is back." Silence, then excitement. "We see a possible reflection," they replied. "It may be the station, maybe." That was enough. Hope rushed in, dangerous and powerful. His breathing sped up without permission. "Slow down," Mission Control warned. "Do not waste oxygen." He tried, but hope is hard to control. He imagined himself safe again inside the station, breathing normal air, taking off the helmet. That image hurt because it felt too far away. His vision darkened again at the edges. The center stayed clear, but the darkness slowly pushed inward. Tunnel vision. A bad sign. His oxygen reached 15 minutes. The light grew slightly bigger. Or maybe he wanted it to, he could not be sure anymore. His thoughts became mixed, past and present blurred together. Earth memories felt more real than space. For a second he forgot where he was. That scared him more than anything. "I don't want to sleep," he said quietly. "Don't," Mission Control replied. "Stay with us." The suit felt heavier now. His neck ached. His jaw felt stiff. Speaking was tiring. The light flickered again, closer or closer in his mind. Space was winning the battle slowly. Not with force, not with noise, with patience. His oxygen showed 12 minutes. He held on to the light, to the voice, to anything human, because once the mind lets go, the body follows. The light did not move. It stayed where it was, small, silent. The astronaut watched it, waiting for it to grow brighter, waiting for proof that he was not imagining it. But minutes passed and nothing changed. His oxygen timer showed 10 minutes. That number was no longer just a warning. It was a deadline. Mission Control spoke again, but the voice sounded different now, slower, careful, like every word was being chosen with pain. "Eva 1, the voice said, "we need to be honest with you." The astronaut already knew what that meant. "Go ahead," he replied quietly. On Earth, the room was still. Screens showed the truth in numbers. The calculations had been done again and again. The result never changed. Distance, speed, time, they did not match. "Eva 1, Mission Control said, "the station cannot reach you in time." The words were simple, but they were heavy. The astronaut closed his eyes for a second, not long, just enough to accept it. "I understand," he said. That surprised everyone. "You do?" the voice asked. "Yes," he replied. "I felt it already." Sometimes the body knows before the mind accepts. The light he saw was not the station, it was just a reflection. A trick of distance and tired eyes. The truth was clear now, there would be no rescue. His oxygen reached 8 minutes, the suit was still working, the systems were fine. The problem was not the machine, the problem was space. Space does not hurry, space does not care, space does not forgive. Mission Control stayed connected, they did not hang up, they would never do that. "We are here with you," the voice said. "You are not alone." He smiled slightly. "I know," he replied. "Thank you for that." His vision was dimmer now. The stars were still there, but they felt far away, like pictures, not real things. His hands felt numb. He could barely feel the controls anymore. "Eva 1, Mission Control said softly, "You can talk if you want." He thought for a moment, then he spoke. He talked about Earth, about the sky, about the feeling of rain, about simple things people forget. "I used to complain about traffic," he said. "I would do anything to sit in traffic again." A few quiet laughs were heard on Earth, sad laughs, broken laughs. His oxygen showed 5 minutes. His breathing slowed on its own now, not because he tried, but because his body was tired, very tired. The suit alarm beeped once. A gentle sound, not angry, just honest, low oxygen. The astronaut looked at Earth one last time. It was still beautiful, still alive, still full of people who would never know his name. And that was okay. "I'm glad I saw this," he said, "even like this." Mission Control listened in silence. "There is one more thing," the astronaut said. "Please tell them to respect space." They nodded, though he could not see them. "We will," they replied. His oxygen reached 2 minutes. His thoughts slowed. Words were harder to form. The stars blurred into soft lights. He felt calm, not fear, not panic, just calm, the kind that comes when the fight is over. The radio stayed open. The connection stayed alive. The astronaut floated gently. No struggle now, no effort. Space had won, but it did not celebrate. It never does. The timer reached 0. The suit went silent. Mission Control called his name. No answer. Only the endless dark. The astronaut did not move anymore. He floated in the dark, gentle and still, like part of space itself. His body was calm. No struggle, no fear. The fight was over. But on Earth, everything was still moving. Mission Control stayed silent for a long moment. No one spoke, no one touched anything. Screens still showed his last position, his last data, his last breath. They called his name again. Eva 1, do you copy? No reply, only silence answered back. Doctors checked the numbers one last time. Oxygen level 0, heart rate gone, brain activity gone. The truth was clear, but no one wanted to say it. Finally, the lead controller spoke. We have lost him. The words felt heavy in the room. Some people closed their eyes, some stared at the screens, some slowly removed their headsets. No one cried loudly. This was space work. Pain was quiet here. The astronaut's body continued to drift. No sound followed him, no light guided him, just endless stars. Out there he looked peaceful, like he was sleeping. His suit reflected small points of light from distant suns. He slowly turned, very gently, carried by motion that would never stop. In space there are no goodbyes, only distance. On Earth, news did not spread yet. The world continued normally. People walked. Cars moved. Children laughed. No one looked up at the sky and thought about the man floating above them, and that was the strange part. Something so big he felt so invisible. Mission Control began the final steps. They saved the recordings. They locked the data. They followed protocol. Everything was done with respect. One engineer whispered. He stayed calm till the end. Another replied, he was strong. They were right. He did not scream. He did not panic. He did not beg. He accepted space for what it was, cold, beautiful, unforgiving. Far away, the space station continued its orbit. Lights turned on and off. Other astronauts inside went on with their duties. They knew what had happened. They felt it. One of them looked out of the window for a long time. Not searching, just thinking, because any one of them could have been out there. That was the truth of space. Up there, mistakes do not shout, they whisper. Back on Earth, the final transmission was reviewed. His voice was calm, clear, human. Tell them to respect space. That line stayed in everyone's mind. The astronaut's body would not return soon, maybe never. In space, objects can drift for years, decades, longer than human memory. He would become part of orbit, part of the silence, part of space history, but not forgotten. The mission would be remembered, studied, taught to future astronauts. His mistake would become a lesson, his calm would become an example. Space always demands a price, and this time it was a life. The stars did not change, they never do. The astronaut floated on, the astronaut never came back, but his story did. Days passed on Earth. Then weeks. Finally, the world learned what had happened. News channels spoke about the incident. Experts explained it with charts and calm voices. They used words like error, distance, and physics, but none of those words explained the silence. The real story was not about numbers. It was about a human being in a place not made for humans. Space agencies reviewed everything, every second of data, every movement, every breath. They asked the same question again and again. What could we have done differently? The answer was simple, nothing. Space had followed its rules perfectly, humans had not. The astronauts' final moments were studied in training rooms. New astronauts watched the recordings quietly. No one spoke during the video, they listened to his breathing, his calm voice, his last message. Respect space. That line became important, not dramatic, not heroic, just true, because space is not evil, it is honest. On Earth, people often imagine space as adventure. Bright stars floating freely, seeing the planet from above, that part is real, but so is the danger. Space has no air to save you, no sound to warn you, no second chances. One mistake can last forever. The astronaut became a symbol, not of failure, but of reality. A reminder that technology can only go so far. After that, nature decides. Some people asked a hard question. Was it worth it? There was no single answer, because exploration always carries risk. Every step forward into the unknown costs something. Sometimes it costs everything. At night, Earth kept turning. People kept looking up at the sky. They saw stars, they saw the moon, they felt small, and that feeling mattered because space is not meant to scare us. It is meant to humble us. Somewhere above the planet, a silent suit still drifted. No name, no voice, just motion. Slowly becoming part of the dark, not lost, just unreachable. The astronaut did not die screaming, he died calm. That mattered too. His story changed how missions were planned. Safety systems improved, training became stricter, new tools were designed, his life saved others. That is how space remembers humans, not with statues, not with graves, but with lessons. In the end, the universe stayed the same. Stars burned, planets moved, time continued. Only humans paused and thought. About how fragile life is, about how powerful silence can be, about how brave it is to step into the unknown. The camera slowly pulls away from Earth. The planet looks small again, beautiful, alone, protected by a thin layer of air, and the final words appear: space is not empty, it is full of consequences.